Okay, it is 6:30. We will call the Washington City Commission July 9th, 2018 meeting to order. First on the agenda, approve the June 26th, 2018 minutes. Everybody have a chance to read those?
Motion to approve.
Yeah, second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion, correction, anything on the minutes? If not, Colin?
Yes.
Kip?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
No.
Aye.
Yes. Okay. Next is to approve the financials. Everybody have a chance to review those? I did have a question I asked Randy earlier, like that very first one in general, under that first wages and salaries, it was like 537% over budget, and when she had looked back and found that back in February, something was put in the wrong category, so that was fixed. Or it will be fixed. That's the only thing I saw.
I'll move to approve the financials with that correction.
Everybody done looking at the financials? Do we have a second, or,
Second.
okay, any questions on the financials? Colin?
Yes.
Kip?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
No?
Aye.
Yes. Okay, we need to appoint a vice president. We forgot to do that at the last meeting. Anybody want the job? I was thinking, I mean, it should be somebody that's around a lot of the times, because they're also check signers. And quite honestly, I was thinking one of the two new guys, because in next year, in 2023, of us will be up, you know, and then, because we've got to be on for 4 years. Anybody have any thoughts? Colin, do you want it?
Sure.
I'll
But-
move to appoint Colin as the,
Okay, do we have a second?
Aye, second.
All right, any discussion on that?
Did I have choice?
Well, you're in town more than I am during the day.
Colin?
Yes.
Kip?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Oh,
aye.
yep, okay. Okay. We're gonna, the fishing dock access, I actually found, you know, we talked about that last time, and we had talked about, you know, getting hold of Bob Fralick with the Game and Fish Department. I did call him, and the Game and Fish has no programs to assist us, you know, with any kind of an access to their fishing piers. Most of their fishing piers are listed as assistance required to access this site. The actual pier itself is accessible, you know, handicap compliant, but to get there, you know, most of them, it says, you know, assistance required. And actually, ours is even listed that way in the Game and Fish website. If you want to look at your pads, I come up with another idea on how we could maybe make that better. You know, originally we had that zigzag pattern there with the little blocks, turn blocks. Well, the storm has blown down some of the trees over here, so I think it'd be real easy just to continue it around like that, and it would give us a nice slope. You know, and that way, because they actually drive their loader down here when they pull the dock out, so it would maybe affect that other one, you know, that zigzag one. So I think this would probably be the way to go. And then as far as the material, you know, I was thinking either gravel or maybe that crushed concrete. Colin, what did you say that cost? That was?
It's $21 a ton.
Yeah. So, I mean, but there's a couple different options, but, I think that would be probably a better way to go. You know, go in there and dig the black dirt out and just lay it in there so it's kind of even with, black dirt around it.
Now, I don't know if I'm out of line, when you're talking a pad going down, right now the dock is partway underwater because there's a ridge there, because the water's so high?
No, the fishing pier? No, this is the fishing pier.
Right, well, that's what I meant, fishing pier, because right now there's water sitting right on the edge because the
Oh,
bank
is it?
comes over, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But, that's what I'm wondering, are we gonna go right down to that bank and have a platform? Or do we wanna go close to it and find a way to, have a mat or something that we can go either in or out with it just a little bit, so we can pull the mast up, then pull the dock out?
I think that would make more sense.
Then try and go right
Right.
there, because I think it's gonna keep falling in, and we're just gonna keep
Yeah,
having problems.
yeah. I mean, I guess that's what I would think, yeah.
Yeah, because I stopped out there just a few minutes ago and looked, and it's a pretty good hump just going down to get
Okay.
onto it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could touch that up a little bit too, cut some of that hump.
Right, but when the water goes down, where are we gonna be at?
Right.
So if we could have something, you know, just a few feet
Mhm.
where we could put,
Sure.
and I'm just thinking out loud, like they have these excavator mats or something where you just have some, and you can move them,
Sure,
and you can change the angle a little bit to get down to it a little bit better.
sure.
So we have a good base, and then we just,
Yeah.
but we
Well,
can work with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it all goes with the fluctuation of the river.
Exactly. And if we build it at one, next summer, we could be 10 feet away from the
Yeah.
pier.
But I really think this would be a cheaper route, plus, you know, it would be probably the minimal cost, and, probably easy to do. So, so we kind of need to make a decision on what we want to do here, so we get it done, and, you know, because I know we have some people that would like to access that, so. So I'm going to move that we go with the second option that I got there. I mean, I volunteered to, you know, donate a couple hours of my time just to go down to the skidder and cut it out, so it costs us like nothing, except for the gravel. So it'll be on motion. Go with this one.
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion on that? Colin?
Aye.
Kip?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Yes, okay. 2019 police contract? Okay. Richard is here to answer any questions, or, I'm assuming Richard is basically the same contract as last year, only just a,
2% increase.
what was it, 2%?
2%.
Okay.
And 2% is what the increase the county's given to the employees.
We speak up just a little louder, because it's really hard to hear on the microphone, so.
The county commission is working on a 2% increase for county employees for next year, and that's why the increase in the 2% of the
Okay.
contract. Contract is based off the number of hours, the coverage for Washburn on a beginning person salary at the sheriff's office. And that's how they base the contract by. So that beginning salary went up 2%.
Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments for the, there's only one thing that kind of bothered me last year. You know, there was an individual who had a motorcycle sitting on the sidewalk like all winter long. And from what I heard, you guys went down there and you just didn't move it or something, and is that, you know anything about that, or?
Well, yeah. He would move it back and forth and different things, and when you have different officers coming in, you know, they don't know, you know, who did what at one time to the next, and, you know, if it hadn't been moved or it had been moved. When we had a complaint, you know, where it interfered with the sidewalk of somebody getting through there, then he moved it.
Mhm. And then what, he'd move it back, or?
He would, I think they helped him push it up more towards the steps of the of the sidewalk or the church or,
Yeah.
you know, the steps there. So it wasn't in the sidewalk and it wasn't out onto the street.
Yeah, I know, it was sitting on there for a long time, I know
Yeah.
that, so, yeah. That was my question, you know, that one.
Some stuff gets drug out too long, you know, so the right person gets contacted
Right.
to, you know, go in and deal with it.
Okay. I don't know, I mean, I haven't heard of any complaints against the police department, so I think they're doing a good job. Any questions for Richard, or? I know sometimes parking, people get that, especially in the winter, it seems like some of them are there a long time,
Mhm.
you know, so, I mean, that's something,
And I know,
Like
we, you
usual
know,
work.
with the snowplow ridge, we try to address that, you know, when it happens.
yeah,
When we get complaints from individuals in the city, we try to address it, you know.
yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
What about noise?
Noise ordinance?
Like particular vehicle noise, motorcycles? Seemingly, again, a lot of loud pipes, loud pickups, cars.
A lot of Jake breaks too.
Huh?
A lot of Jake breaks too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not too often, but I hear them.
It's the motorcycles coming
Yeah.
for the poker runs, but I believe as a community, we also have to try to work with everybody to be, you know, civil about everything.
Mhm.
I know there is a noise ordinance, but, you know, I know in the past we've had complaints where somebody will sit out in their driveway or out in their yard and rev it up, you know, and we go talk to them. Some of the motorcycles and different things, you know, they seem loud, but they're probably legal, and we don't have a way to test, you know, what the noise level is.
Yeah.
The EPA sets a noise decibel limit.
Yeah,
That is
and
established.
we don't have no way of testing that.
But we can still remind people, you know, to be courtesy of everybody else,
Right.
you know. Because that's what I hear on the highway a lot of the times, are the motorcycles leaving the poker run, and
Yeah.
we just, you know,
I love that sound, so I'm on this discussion.
I got a big diesel tractor you can ride in all day that'll scream at you.
I just have my, go right into it. And Jake breaks, that's a touchy subject with me too.
Mhm.
I know,
But you can hear those coming a mile away, you
Yeah.
know, before you even get to town, you know.
well, but I know people use them a lot when they don't need to.
Yeah, a lot of young guys use them a little excessively,
Mhm.
Okay, any other questions for Richard, or? Okay, I think we need to, now we're gonna need to, either accept or reject this police contract, because,
I make a motion to accept the 2019 police contract from County Sheriff's Department.
And I second that.
Okay, any further discussion on that? Colin?
Aye.
Kit?
Yes.
Mike?
Aye.
No?
Aye.
Yes. Thank you for coming down, Richard, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bob Ossett?
How y'all doing tonight?
Good, you?
Not too bad. I'm here to see the ordinance came into effect in 2016. My youngest dog was born 2015. In 2017, I licensed every one of my dogs. 2018, I tried to come down to license. Got refused. I think I should be grandfathered in because of the age of my dogs. But, if not, I would like to be extended from October 11th to June 1st. Because then I could be out of this town. I don't want to leave, but I will.
So your plan is, you're planning on moving, is what you're saying,
Right.
right?
But by June 1st, I know I can get rid of my house. Easy. I don't want to just give it away because I put a lot of work into that place. You know? I don't want to just give it away. I just want the opportunity to at least have till then. But I feel I should be grandfathered in because of the age of my dogs. I was in compliance with the city then when I kept them. You know, after the ordinance came into effect, I already had them. You know, I haven't violated no ordinance. I haven't. I had them all before the ordinance came into effect. If the ordinance would have been in effect before, I would have never kept them. I would have just kept what was legal. You know, all I'm asking is for fairness, nothing more.
I really wish you would have been at that, I think it was that, the April meeting when you first came and then you made that decision. I really wish you would have came to that meeting.
I didn't know I had to been there, otherwise I would have, you know.
No,
I thought you guys wanted to discuss it and get a hold of me. You know, I was relying, you know, thinking, and I was mistaken,
Yeah. Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
I would like to see us come to a compromise, like you said, till June 1st of next year, to give you that, time.
That'd be plenty of time. You know,
I mean, I don't have a problem working with you on this. I think June 1st is a bit far out. That's like a year from now. That's a bit far out, in my opinion. You know, I guess I know I'd like to hear what some of these other guys think.
Well, I'd like to speak up. I can see his point about being grandfathered in. I am worried about health concerns, but have we had any health problems that I know of? No. What I would like to see is maybe grandfathered in, but keep a very close track of everything and try to work something out. June 1st seems like it's a long ways away, and all of a sudden it's June 2nd and we're going, well, we're in the same situation before. Now, is there ways we can work this out somehow? Instead of tearing the community apart and saying, you have to do this? Because anybody backed in a corner lashes out, no matter who they are. So I'd like the other commissioners to chime in on this too.
Like I said, I don't have a problem working with Bob either. You know, I have talked to some of the neighbors there, heard some of their concerns, their opinions, so I understand their point of view also, having to live closer to it. You know, the odors, the noise. You know, one of my dilemmas is, at the time this was enacted, you know, I've lived in a small town my whole life, and virtually nothing happens without everybody knowing what's going on. So part of me says, well, if this was in the process, why wasn't this issue brought up initially? You know, okay, you know, it wasn't just written and approved within a matter of a couple hours. You know, I'm guessing I wasn't on the commission at the time, but it happened over the course of what, a month? 2 months?
It was, I don't know, 4 months at least.
You know,
Yeah, from when it was started.
so
till-
part of me says, well, why, you know, why didn't you bring it, you know, your concerns at that time? You know, definitely, I guess I'm looking at it saying that should have been done.
I had all my dogs were there before the ordinance was made.
I understand that, but
You know?
as the ordinance is being enacted, you know, if, to me, it was said, well, if this would affect me, I would sure want to be at the meeting to voice my concern, to say, hey,
Well,
you
I
know,
do understand why there is a limit too, but when I did have there wasn't one, otherwise I would have kept that, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with the city having that ordinance. But at the time I kept my dogs, I was well within the ordinance, otherwise I would have never done that.
right.
The city ordinance with sport, I don't complain about that at all. I would have never complained. You know, I kept them dogs before the ordinance was made. 2015 was my youngest. 2016, the ordinance was put in. I get a letter. I had to get them all up to date in shots and all that. I did. Got them all licensed, every one of them. So I thought automatically getting them all licensed, I'm covered. You know, I went to do it in 2018. I can only do 4. Well, I got 13 of them right here that I did in 2017. I didn't think I'd have to come in to fight nobody against it because I licensed them all in 2017. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that ordinance. But when I did keep mine, there wasn't that ordinance. Otherwise, I would have never kept them. I would have complied with the ordinance. You know, that's all I'm saying. I'm not asking for anything more. You know, and McLean County was called 3 different times about my dogs. And they came down and said my dogs were all clean, in a clean environment, fed, and well taken care of. All 3 times in McLean County. There was never a problem. My dogs were well taken care of.
Well, quite honestly,
You know.
that's a newspaper story, I don't, you know, I'm just
That-
saying, you know.
McLean,
I'm just saying,
right,
it's a
you
newspaper
know,
story, not everything in the newspaper is exactly.
Right.
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 It's
Understand
called
that.
for service. Richard?
Okay,
No,
now
I'm
he's
just
here.
saying, I'm just making a comment that, hey, you
That's
know,
fine. I mean, you can go and check.
But the 3 deputies came down and they checked the dogs out, checked everything out, and I knew who turned it in. You know, they had something against me, and it was not our city, an ex-wife. So it
Well,
wasn't.
whatever, we're not here about that.
But I ain't got nothing against nobody because none of my neighbors did it. It was something that didn't involve nobody, you know. Somebody just trying to get me.
Now, the city changed this in 2016. I believe you wrote it, Larry. Why did we change from 74 to now?
Because we needed to update.
Okay. Where was the recommendations at to do?
What do you mean?
How many dogs or how many what or
That
what?
was
I'm
discussed at length on how many dogs. and all that.
Is that on the video? I never saw
Yeah,
that.
there was, I don't believe there was video at that
I did
time.
not see it when I went through
Well,
it.
there was no video in 2016.
Yep, because you're on there in 16.
2016?
Yes,
Just
it's
the
on there.
cameras
In
on.
May of 2016? I mean, in
March.
March?
Because
This
you were
one,
going to do
is
it, you were going to do it the month before and you couldn't find it.
Video cameras,
Oh,
I
the video cameras, yeah, that's right.
It's up on your
That's
website.
right.
So I'm just trying to get a reference why, because nobody said why, that this was going to be changed.
I don't know, it was hashed back and forth, and we decided on 4. I mean, you know, 4 cats and 4 dogs.
And then why wasn't anything put in there for a variance or a grandfather or anything like that?
Well, I don't know.
Is there
Because
more,
there
is there
was-
more dogs in town than 4 right
There was
now?
never one before, so I mean,
Right.
it was an oversight, I don't know, but nobody complained, you know.
Right. Now, is there more than, somebody that has more than 4 dogs now, besides Bob?
I don't know. Not that I know of, but I don't know.
Because as I was reading this, it's one of those, if a vet comes in and they have 4 in their possession to be treated, they're out of ordinance, right?
Say that again?
Okay, if a vet comes in and they have 4 animals, it's in their possession at one time. Don't that say, unless I read it wrong, it's in possession of 4 pets,
Mhm.
so they would be out of the ordinance.
If you have 4 pets, no, you wouldn't.
No, the vet that has them, because they're in their control. That's how it's written, right?
You mean somebody that comes in from out of
Yeah,
town?
if a veterinary comes into this town, no? Well, that's how it's written.
I think you're pushing on that
Oh,
one, but.
Okay,
I'm just
well, it
saying.
just says in
Yeah.
control of 4 pets in
Right.
town.
Right.
So if they're treating 4 animals in town, they're in possession of them.
Well, no.
Okay.
I
don't see it,
I
but-
think if you read the whole ordinance, maybe if you read the definitions in the front, what an owner or is, I think that might explain it a little bit better.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't have
might
the
be,
ordinance
but-
in front of me, so it's hard to say, but.
Yep, well, when I read it, that's how I understood it.
Okay.
But, you know, that's why I wanted to explain.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
Mhm.
That's how I'm reading it.
Okay.
Because, you know, like the 74 was, you had to have a leash on your dog within 6 feet. So that
Before what?
the ordinance 82
Yeah.
in 1974, you had to have a dog on a
Okay.
leash within 6 feet.
Okay.
You know, so it's how you read some of this stuff. I'm just reading it, and that's how I'm comprehending it.
Mhm.
So I'm just asking.
No, that's fine.
To verify.
And I don't mind that. It's hard to answer a question without the ordinance in front of me.
Yeah,
Because it was
because,
written, you know, several years ago, so.
yeah, but you wrote it. That's what you said on March 8th.
I wrote it, and
Yeah.
that's been changed by the commission as it was
Right.
written. So, yeah.
Well, that's why I'm asking how you wrote it,
Yeah.
how it understands it.
Well, I would have to look at it again. I mean, like I
Okay.
said, it's been 2 years.
You know, and then, all my dogs are registered service dogs, and I did that, as they get older, they're passive now. I constantly have one. You know, like I said, I'm not trying to start no arguments with nobody or nothing like that. I just want what's fair. You know, if the ordinance in 2015 would have been 4 dogs, I would have had more than that. You know, I would have, because apparently I've been having them since 2007, 2008, something like that. I've had them all started down. I'm not asking for nothing that I don't feel that I deserve. And I've talked to some of my neighbors too, the closest ones, and they've never had a problem with none of them. You know, Leroy Seiler, he don't have a single problem, he said. You know, he's right next to me. You know, right now I got a bunch of carpets in the back in a trailer to haul out that smell a little bit, but nothing bad. I don't wash blankets on the line no more, so no water runs off. I stopped all that when it was brought to my attention. I stopped.
Right.
You know.
I will be honest, you know, I went back there the other day and I couldn't smell.
You know,
Yeah.
and I'm just trying to be fair.
Yeah, I went back there and I didn't smell.
You know. If somebody does, I am trying to clean it up. Right now, both my trucks are down, so I can't take the trailer and haul it out right this second. But my truck will be back up, and I'll haul everything out that I need to haul out. You know.
Well, it sounds like you want to get in compliance, or and then you
Right.
say, hey, if you give me some time, I'll be in compliance, so that will.
Right, right. And,
That's kind of
you know,
the big issue.
I don't want to have to leave Washburn, but I don't want to have no problems anymore. I'm getting too old to have problems. You know, I screwed up enough in my life, and my dogs have helped me out and kept me out of a lot of trouble. And, like I said, they're what keeps me going. And like I said, I'm not trying to start no trouble with nobody. I just want what's fair.
Well, I think, you know, what we said here is, you know, we're willing to work with you on this. It's just, you know, the thing is, you know, if we go to June 1st, you know, then what? You know, does it continue on? You know, that's the question. You know,
No, Larry, don't continue on.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
June 1st is June 1st. That's the date I'm telling you. You're not telling me. I'm asking you for that date.
On or before.
Right. And if it doesn't go, then it's my fault. Then I take responsibility for everything.
Mhm.
You know? I'm giving you my word. You give me till June 1st, I will be out of here by June 1st. if not before.
Well, it's not whether you're out of here or not, it's just, it's a dog issue.
I will be out of here because I will not get rid of my dogs. If I gotta get an attorney, then I'll have to do that, just keep my dogs. And I don't wanna have to do that. I think we could work it out. June 1st, I think, is good. I'm hoping before then, I am hoping before then.
Mhm.
But I don't wanna just throw my house away.
Well, no, understand that.
Can I make a suggestion here?
You may.
I know it's talked about June 1st. A letter, you've got what, October?
October 11th?
Why don't we go from the date this letter was sent, approximately April 10th, 11th, whatever, and go a year from that point, so it'd be the following April? Just kind of a compromise.
Yeah.
It's a couple months difference, but
I don't wanna be moving in dead cold. That's what scares me. If I could sell it before winter hits, that's great, but I don't wanna wind up in the middle of the winter having to move. In April, we still got snow a lot of times. I think I'm being fair by June 1st.
It's only 6 weeks difference. Yeah, it's only 6. No, it wouldn't be. Oh, yeah, you're right, it's only 6 weeks, month and a half difference.
I don't think it's unreasonable for Bob to ask for June 1st.
Correct?
I'll make the motion to allow Bob to keep his dogs until June 1st, 2019, with the understanding, though, that if something were to come up where we start getting complaints, we might have to revisit this.
Right,
That kind
right.
of, and we'll go
Any,
from there.
any complaints, I'll fix.
Okay. That's my motion.
so June 1st, 2019.
Yep.
I'll second that.
You got a discussion?
We're gonna enforce them no matter what, then?
What's that?
June 1st, we're gonna enforce them no matter what, right? There's no grandfather clause, we're just saying, this is it? Tough, right?
Well, this is what Bob said we would do.
So,
yeah.
I understand that, I'm just asking the
Did you answer that
grandfather.
question? Yes?
Yeah, that's what you
Okay,
said.
yeah, okay, good. Okay. All right, any other discussion? Colin?
Aye.
Kit?
Aye.
Mike?
No,
Aye.
Aye. I'll say yes. Okay.
Thank you guys very much.
You need to get your rabies,
Yep,
and then...
yeah.
put all that stuff
Larry, I
in
didn't
there,
even, usually they send out a letter. I never got a letter. You just told me. I'll get it taken
I
care
can
of.
show you those if you want.
No, I've seen you showed, that's fine.
Okay, and then license.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Bob.
Thanks, guys.
Bob?
Thanks, Dave.
Storefront grant.
Well, I just put that in there just as, that's okay. Just as to point out, because you guys have all looked through the bills, but I just wanted to point that out, that there were 2 storefront
He's not here.
improvement projects in that stack of bills. Just I just wanted to bring that out to your attention, to make sure that you recognize those.
So these were approved by the WIDA, right? WIDA, whatever. I'm really wondering why you have a bid from Bob Frank on this museum one, and then it's DJ Carpentry.
Bob Frank decided that he was going to do our canopy, and when his brother-in-law had a stroke, he backed down, so we got Derek Hoff to do it, and he just presented his bid, which was about the same as what Bob Frank had. Because when we applied, we used Bob Frank. grant.
So you paid him, this amount of money, the $5,368?
No, we paid half.
No, but I mean, that's what it cost?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I was looking at this bid from Bob Frank, and I think 6 hours to, or 8 hours to put metal roof along the top is outrageous, but, or metal edging on the top. But I was looking at this, bid, and it's like, whoa, this is insane, Put up a scaffold and barricade, 6 hours, I don't know. It seems absolutely outrageous to me. But whatever. So we will have to do these separately, I guess. Approve them. So for all you, if you people are not familiar, there was a $25,000, for the new commissioners, a $25,000 storefront improvement grant, which is 50% of the cost of improvements up to $5,000. Correct? Well, we pay $5,000, right. So, and then, Wahida was going to manage this, and they look at the projects and decide whether they're approved or not. And then it comes to us to say, give the final yes or no, but really it's in their hands. So, but we approve it because the money comes from us. I mean, it comes from one-tenth sales tax, but it was, given for that. So we'll start with the Guest Funeral Home one. Are they going to do more, Guest Funeral Home?
They have one.
Is there a reason they don't do the whole project before they come in for reimbursement?
Their last paper wasn't responding timely,
Okay,
so since they had that bill, they submitted that portion.
okay. So the first one is $795.06. Guess Funeral Home. Well, I'll make a motion that we approve the $795.06 to Guest Funeral Home for storefront improvement grant.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion on that? Colin?
Aye.
Chip?
Right.
Mike?
Aye.
Noel?
Aye.
Yes. Okay, second one is, the McLean County Historical Society. And that would be for $2,679.23. Is there a motion on that one?
Make a motion.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on that? Colin?
Aye.
Kip?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
No?
Aye.
Yes. Okay. A2S update, nobody here. Okay. Preliminary budget,
So I just put that on there because our timeline is going to be pretty short here for this. So I've been working on getting a preliminary together. So I'll present that at our next commission meeting, and then we'll have to have the final approval for that preliminary on that 6th. It has to be in by the 10th. So I wanted to give you guys a heads up
Okay, what are those dates again, Rainey? They're,
The 23rd is our next meeting, so we'll have that prepared and ready for you to review on that day. And then we'll have another meeting on the 6th, so if there's any changes, hopefully that will be up to date with those changes. And then it has to be presented on the 10th to the council.
okay, so if anybody has anything, you know, that they think we need or we want in the budget for next year, you know, let's make sure we get in there and talk to Rainey and so we can get it in the, you know, one for review, so, yeah. Thank you, guys. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay, portfolios? Colin?
Nothing too much. Working on trying to get the odor issue resolved in town, the cell in town. I'm not positive at this stage, but I think it's coming from the fish cleaning station. A little investigation discovered that it hadn't been pumped out since last October. So, got a hold of the company to at least twice a month at this point to start. Hopefully that'll cut down, but we'll see.
So you put some stuff in already and?
Yep, and then we put a enzyme in there to try and digest that and keep some of the odors down, so.
Something, you know, also, you discovered that the smell was coming from in town, not from out of town, right?
Right, everybody's assuming that it's the big lagoon on the southeast corner of town. That one does not smell at all. It's the little one down behind city compound. When I open the grinder pit to look in there, the odor is in there, so that tells me it's coming from somewhere in town. So we'll keep working on that. Yeah, all I got for now.
Okay. Thank you. Kids.
Okay.
Mike?
Next meeting on the agenda, I have a bid come in for the Historical Society green building up here. You want to call it a courthouse or a
Okay.
fire deal. I looked at it, and he looked at it. I have not seen the information he faxed today, so I'd like to put that on next month's meeting.
Are you talking about the building in general or the roof?
The roof, where they
Okay.
fixed that last year
Okay.
with styrofoam and tar and left it open underneath so the wind would pop the styrofoam. There's no stability to it at all. So, and then I think you mentioned to me, and I don't know if it's mine before, a water cooler for here.
The guys are gonna try and get prices on it.
Okay, so that's all I have that I know of.
Very good. No?
I know we had kind of mentioned last meeting about the banyan training for Rainey, but do we want to just approve her to go ahead and get registered on those two? 'Cause I think they're like $30
Yes.
or something.
Yes, we do.
Is that okay to just go ahead and approve her to just go ahead and register them? Or,
I mean, I think she can just do that
Okay.
because it's minimal cost, but I mean, we can if you want to.
doesn't matter to me, I just want to make sure that, you know, we don't run into any issues.
Right. Because a $30 training is really, you know, because, required training? Well, not bad. Yeah, it's a bad, so. But, yeah, why not make a motion? What the heck?
Okay, I motion that Rainey can attend the two webinars. I think one was in August and one is September. She can go and register and do those.
Okay, I'll second. Discussion? Colin?
Aye.
Kip?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
No?
Aye.
Yes.
Do we do something different here where we don't have to do this? Do we set a spending limit for like up to $100 for her training?
Well, we, you know, we have a spending limit, a deal on that, so, yeah. We really didn't have to approve this, but, you know, 'cause there's.
Oh, it's okay, we did, but I mean, that is,
Yeah, because it's like $500, you know, so.
oh,
Or 1,500 or whatever, you know, and otherwise you gotta have two people, you know, but, Yeah, we really didn't have to do this one.
What was that for training though? I thought that was for,
Well, it's for purchases, but, you know, what's a purchase? Yeah. You know, the thing is, people go to conferences and we don't approve those, you know, because they're conferences that they attend, you know, and they're like a couple $100, so, you know.
Oh, and there's one actually coming up, there's another conference that Rainey.
There's only the cities one.
Yeah, that'd be really good, there's a lot of good topics on that one. I think it'd be good if she got to go to that,
Yeah.
if she wants to.
That's what, September or something?
I think so,
or-
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's over a weekend.
Yeah, the only bad
In
part is on the
Grand Forks.
weekend, which is really weird, but I don't know why it's on the weekend, that makes no sense. But, I guess we'll kind of leave that up to her, but, you know, because I don't know what your schedule is, but. Anything else? David, can you fill us in a little bit on that water treatment plant too? Maybe, or,
Yeah, I've talked to a couple of guys that work in the insurance business, and he's gonna get back to me hopefully this week, but he's looking at whether or not there's still a valid claim that we can get against the painting company or whatever they were. So hopefully by next meeting I can have a report for you.
okay. I have nothing. Brian? Anything?
Just about the trail. We've got a few more trees down there in that corner. You said you're gonna round it out and come
Yep.
back up in that parking lot. About 10 trees fell down in that spot. We're still clearing them up. We still got some of the low spots, depending on how wide you want to go.
Can you step in so we can hear you on the, thank you.
Yeah, just a little bit wider down that,
Oh.
where you said they were kind of coming off the parking lot.
Right.
That's the only place we got left to clean out. The rest of them are all cut
Okay,
all the way, so
good,
it's ready to go. Pretty close.
okay. You checking on that sander then, and,
Yeah, I gotta call him back again.
okay. Great, terrific. Anything else?
Um,
Are you tarring yet?
no, we were gonna start tarring today, but we ended up cutting some more trees
Okay.
out there. Yeah, pretty soon we can start. We don't wanna start when it's 95, but
No, I know.
you know how that goes. But yeah, as soon as we can.
Okay. Any questions for Brian? Wayne, do you
you
have
have a
any?
question on that diesel?
The diesel, I'm wondering, and I could be wrong, since the city is not taxed, when Cenex bills or whoever bills our fuel, do they give us the rebate even though it's clear? Because we're non-taxable?
It should be set up on the card.
I think it automatically comes off.
Off the clear?
Yeah, off anything. Anything that we buy, the tax comes off, doesn't it?
Well, I don't know. With
Off their charge cards, I didn't check the last time I did our, new cards when they got it out to me, but
because
they
you're
always used to, yeah.
They used to, I know.
your fuel price should be whether for the
Whether died or.
right, it should be the same, and that's why I'm wondering. Because I've been told by construction companies, the fleet managers, since it's a state deal, it don't matter one way or the other, but you don't get taxed for it anyway, whether it's died or not, because it's a government entity.
I do believe there are certain taxes you still do have to pay the excise tax, whether you're.
I think there are some taxes
There
you
are
have to pay.
some, yeah, there are some,
Yeah.
on the propane, stuff like that you do still have to pay, I believe.
I was just,
But basically anything licensed over the road, you have to use clear. Right, Kevin? I mean, that's the way I've always understood it that way.
But you're just curious though, if we're
Yeah.
using the clear, that we're still getting our tax
Right.
break on it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
right,
Okay.
is basically,
Yeah.
because, yeah.
making sense now.
It's one of those, I've
I
just
see,
been
yeah.
told this by contractors, because I ask, when they come in, and I work on their truck, why is this dyed red?
Right.
And they come out and say, we're construction and we're building the road, we don't have to. But that's,
Yeah.
that's my question.
Yeah, a lot of people say a lot of stuff.
Mm.
Now, I'm the one who catches it though,
Yeah, I would say between you and Rainey, you should find out, so,
just to see if it comes off of there.
yeah, that's a good point. Okay, Rainey, did you say you had anything, or?
No.
Okay. Anybody else have anything? David, anything? Okay, bills? Everybody have a chance to review the bills?
Motion approved.
Second.
Discussion on the bills? Colin?
Aye.
Kit? Mike?
Aye.
No?
Aye.
Yes. Okay, our next meeting is on Monday, July 23rd, at 6:30. See you all then. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Nice quick meeting, love it.
I gotta chase down Turk before he gets out of here.
You're good now.
Oh, yeah.